Hey everyone! Did you know that these three youngest BTS members aren't just idols on the music stage, but have also made it onto the list of the richest young investors in South Korea? Yup, Jimin. And Jungkook just made it into the top 100 wealthiest shareholders under 30 years old. This news has sent shockwaves through ARMY and the K-pop world. I mean, from struggling trainees to now having stock assets worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Curious about how it all happened? Stay tuned, because we're going to break down their entire journey from idol to successful young investor. Okay guys, so here's what happened. On December 24th, 2025, a renowned corporate data research institute in South Korea called CEO Score released a report that shocked many people. They conducted a survey on the wealthiest shareholders under 30 years old in Korean public companies. And guess what? 3 BTS members, Jimin and Jungkook, made it onto this elite list. They each ranked at number 28 with HYB stock holdings valued at 21.4 billion won, which is approximately 242 to 256 billion rupiah, or around 16 to 17 million US dollars. That's insane. For those who aren't familiar, CEO Score is a highly credible research institution in Korea. They focus on analyzing company data, stock ownership, financial performance, and various corporate governance issues. So the data they release is completely valid and often referenced by international media. In that report, CEO Score noted that the combined total value of stocks held by Korea's top 100 young shareholders increased dramatically by nearly 70 trillion won compared to the end of last year. The total reached 177.2 trillion won as of December 19th, 2025. That's an increase of about 64.6%. And it's within this elite group that the names Jimin and Jungkook shine. Before we continue, for those new to BTS or who want to refresh their memory, let's get to know these 3 members often referred to as the Magne line of BTS. Kim Taehyung. Kim Taehyung was born on December 30th, 1995, which means he's currently 29 years old. He's known for his unique baritone voice, stunning visuals, and artistic personality. V also has a brilliant solo career with albums like Layover and various international collaborations. He's even recognized as the most handsome man in various global surveys. Park Jimin was born on October 13th, 1995, now 30 years old, but still included in the under 30 category in this survey as it was conducted in December. Jimin is BTS's main dancer and vocalist with incredible vocal control. His solo albums Face and Muse achieved massive global success. He's also a brand ambassador for Dior and Tiffany & Company. Jungkook, BTS's youngest member, was born on September 1st, 1997, currently 28 years old. Jungkook is known as the Golden Magne because of his all-around abilities from singing, dancing, to music production. His solo album, Golden, achieved phenomenal success, and he also has endorsements with major brands like Calvin Klein. These 3 members are indeed the youngest in BTS, which is why they're called the Magne line. But make no mistake, despite being the youngest, their contributions to BTS's success are absolutely massive. Now, here's the big question. Where did these stocks worth hundreds of millions come from? Did they buy them themselves with their hard-earned money? Or is there another story behind it? So here's how it went down, guys. The story began in 2020. At that time, HYB, which was still called Big Hit Entertainment, was preparing to go public, meaning listing on the Korean Stock Exchange. This was a huge moment for an entertainment company that had been focused on managing artists. Bang Si-hyuk, founder and chairman of HYB, who is also the company's largest shareholder, did something truly extraordinary. He gifted shares to all 7 BTS members as a form of appreciation for their incredible contributions to building the company. The total shares given were 478,695 common shares, which were then divided equally among the 7 members. So each member received 68,385 HYB shares. At that time, the share value might not have been as large as now, but it was already an incredibly valuable gift. What makes this even more interesting is Jimin and Jungkook have held on to all the shares given to them until now. They haven't sold a single share. This shows their loyalty and confidence in HYB's future. And it turns out their decision to hold was absolutely right. Why? Because HYB's stock value continues to rise along with the success of BTS and other HYB artists. From the released data, the value of these 3 members' shares increased by 8.2 billion won in just the last year, from 13.2 billion won in 2024 to 21.4 billion won in 2025. That's incredible growth. Now, you might be wondering, if the 3 Magne line members have that much stock, what about the other BTS members? According to data from CEO Score, here's the breakdown of BTS members' stock ownership as of December 19th, 2025. Suga, Jimin, V, and Jungkook, each holding 68,385 shares valued at 21.4 billion won, approximately 242 billion rupiah, or around 16 to 17 million USD. J-Hope, holding 62,784 shares valued at 19.7 billion won, approximately 223 billion rupiah, or around 15 to 16 million USD. RM, holding 58,000 shares valued at 18.2 billion won, approximately 206 billion rupiah, or around 14 to 15 million USD. Jimin, specific data wasn't mentioned in the report, but he likely still holds shares in significant amounts. So even though the news focuses on the Magne line because they fall into the under 30 category, actually all BTS members are very wealthy HYB shareholders. The stock assets owned by these members all still exceed 10 billion won, making them the most financially influential celebrities. The difference in share amounts between members might have occurred because some of them have sold portions of their shares for personal needs or other investments, or maybe there were internal transactions that weren't publicized. But clearly, they're all extremely successful financially. To provide broader context, let's look at who else is on this list and how the BTS members' positions compare. At the top position, of course, sits Korea's major conglomerates and heirs of big companies. Lee Jae-yong, Samsung Electronics chairman, holds the #1 spot with stock ownership valued at 23.4 trillion won. His asset value is almost double compared to last year, which was only 12 trillion won. And you know what? Bang Si-hyuk himself, the HYB founder, who gave shares to BTS, is ranked 10th in the overall ranking of Korea's wealthiest shareholders. This proves that the entertainment industry, especially driven by the global K-pop phenomenon, truly has tremendous economic value. What's interesting about this survey is that the total equity value held by the 100 richest individuals under 30 jumped 801 billion won, or increased 47.8% compared to the same period last year. Meanwhile, for all age groups, the total stock value held by the top 100 individuals jumped 64.6%. So with Jimin and Jungkook making this list at rank 28, they're not just on par with elite young business people, but they also represent a new generation of wealth creation in Korea, which doesn't come from conglomerate families or business inheritance, but from talent, hard work, and the creative industry. Jimin, and Jungkook's achievement is actually part of a larger phenomenon in the K-pop industry. We're seeing a major transformation where idols are no longer just entertainers, but they're also becoming investors, entrepreneurs, and wealth creators. First, the K-pop industry now has massive global reach. BTS, for example, isn't just famous in Korea or Asia, they have a fan base worldwide. This generates tremendous revenue from various sources: album sales, concert tours, merchandise, endorsements, and more. Second, the business model of entertainment companies is now much more sophisticated. HYB, for instance, isn't just a regular music label. They have multiple business units, from artist management, content production, merchandise, technology platforms like Weverse, to global market expansion with acquisitions of labels in America. Third, listing entertainment companies on the stock exchange provides greater liquidity and visibility. This increases company valuation, and, of course, the value of shares owned by artists also rises. Fourth, idols now have much stronger bargaining power. They're not just talent managed by the company, but they can also be business partners, investors, even founders of their own companies. We see many idols starting their own fashion brands, cafes, or investments in various sectors. And most importantly, this shows a cultural shift in Korea and globally about how we view the entertainment industry. It used to be considered a soft industry that wasn't as strong as manufacturing or technology. But now, cultural export and creative industry have become one of the biggest economic drivers. The BTS Magne Line's achievement has broader impact, guys. This isn't just about 3 idols getting rich, it's about shifting narratives and inspiring the younger generation. Many young people who dream of becoming artists, musicians, or creative professionals often worry about financial stability in the future. The BTS story shows that with talent, hard work, and strategic decisions, a career in the creative industry can be very rewarding, not just in terms of personal fulfillment, but also financially. V, Jimin, and Jungkook's decision to hold their shares, even when prices rise significantly, shows good financial literacy. They didn't immediately sell for quick cash, but they believe in long-term value. This is an important lesson about investing: patience and conviction. Traditionally, financial success in Korea has been very much associated with professions like doctor, lawyer, or joining a chaebol major conglomerate. But now we're seeing that success can also come from creative paths, and even place you on par with conglomerate heirs. On a macro level, this also demonstrates Korea's soft power strength. K-pop isn't just a cultural export, but also an economic powerhouse. The Korean government strongly supports this industry because they know it generates tremendous value, from tourism, consumer products, to improving Korea's global image. Now, speaking of the future, there's great news for ARMY. BTS is reportedly making a comeback as a full group in 2026 with plans to release a new album and world tour in the spring. In a live broadcast on the Weverse platform last Sunday, BTS told fans, "Let's make 2026 the year of BTS. Something really big is coming. It will be an important year." This statement immediately made worldwide anticipation explode. After several years of members focusing on solo careers and military service, this full group reunion will definitely be a very special moment. And from a business perspective, this will also significantly impact HYB's valuation, and of course the value of shares held by the members. If we look at the pattern, every time BTS announces a comeback or releases a new album, HYB stock tends to rise. Imagine if they really hold a world tour in 2026, with a global fan base that's grown even larger during the hiatus. This could be the biggest tour in K-pop history. And for V, Jimin, Jungkook, and other BTS members who still hold their shares, this could potentially make their asset value rise even higher. They won't just be earning from performances, royalties, and endorsements, but also from the appreciation of their share value. Okay guys, from this entire story, there are several important lessons we can take away. BTS started from zero. They came from a small company that was almost bankrupt through years of extremely hard work, countless practice hours, and dedication. They reached their current position. This shows that success is possible regardless of your starting point. Bang Si-hyuk gave shares to BTS not just as a bonus, but as recognition of their contribution. And BTS members chose to stay loyal by holding their shares. This mutual loyalty and trust is key to sustainable success. Jimin and Jungkook could have sold their shares when prices started rising to get cash immediately, but they didn't do that. They believe in long-term value, and that proved to be the right decision. In investing, patience is often more important than timing. BTS members don't just rely on one income stream. They have earnings from music, concerts, endorsements, and now investment returns. This is a smart financial strategy. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. For the younger generation with passion in creative fields, this is proof that you can make it. You can be successful, wealthy, and influential through creative pursuits. Don't let anyone tell you that creative careers can't be financially stable. Knowing how to manage your wealth, understanding investment basics, and making informed financial decisions are very important skills. BTS members clearly have good guidance, and they're making smart choices with their wealth. Now, it's also important for us to look at this from a more critical and balanced perspective, because not everything that glitters is gold, right? This achievement is impressive, but we also need to be aware that it shows a very large wealth gap. 21.4 billion won is an amount that most people will never achieve in their lifetime. This raises questions about wealth distribution and inequality. BTS is an exception, not the rule. For every BTS that succeeds, there are thousands of trainees and idol groups that don't make it. The K-pop industry is known to be very competitive and tough, with many problematic practices. So while celebrating success, we also need to acknowledge the struggles of many others. Although BTS members are now wealthy shareholders, their wealth is still very much tied to HYB's performance. If company performance drops, their share value will also decline. This is the risk of having a significant portion of wealth in single company stock. With great wealth comes great responsibility and pressure. These members will constantly be scrutinized for every decision they make, financial or otherwise. The pressure to maintain success can be enormous. There's also discussion about how this wealth affects the fan-idol relationship. Some fans might feel disconnected when they realize their idols are multimillionaires, while others might celebrate the success. It's a complex dynamic. But overall, despite these criticisms, Jimin and Jungkook's achievements remain remarkable and worth celebrating, while still being aware of the broader context. Okay guys, so that's the complete story of how Jimin and Jungkook made it onto the list of 100 richest young investors in South Korea. From trainees who practiced 12+ hours a day, performed at small venues, to now being global superstars who've entered the ranks of elite wealthy investors. Their journey is truly inspiring. And most importantly, they achieved this through talent, hard work, smart decisions, and staying true to themselves. This story also shows the power of fandom and cultural influence. Without ARMY supporting them through thick and thin, BTS wouldn't have made it this far. And their success now is also success for the entire fandom and K-pop industry. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss updates about BTS and the K-pop world. What about you? Are you inspired by the BTS Magne line's achievements? Or do you have other thoughts you want to share? Drop them in the comments section. I really want to read your perspectives. Don't forget to share this video with fellow ARMY and other K-pop fans, so they can also know about this incredible achievement. Stay tuned because we'll keep updating you on developments with BTS's 2026 comeback and other interesting stories from the K-pop world. Remember guys, dream big, work hard, stay humble, and who knows? Maybe someday you can also achieve success like Jimin and Jungkook. See you in the next video. Borahi, Purple Heart.